Yes, said love. What's going on, guys? How you all doing today? Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, guys? What's up? Welcome, AVP. What's up? Welcome and blessing to each and everyone. How you guys doing on this beautiful, blessed day? Shout out to everyone who comes out and support this channel. Shout out to all the people who support this channel. I truly appreciate you guys. Thank each and everyone who subscribed to this channel and take me to 9,000 subscribers. I truly appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, because you know what's going on over here, man. The natural. But like you see today, the topic is living in LALA land versus living off the grid. When we say living in LALA land, that doesn't mean you train any shades or anything. That's not what it is. It's just a conversation I'm trying to spark. I'm trying to spark a conversation that we all, some of us may be living this life already, but we all could get a more understanding of the difference in living off the grid. When you live in, I'm gonna say LALA land, but don't take that word for no. Don't take it personal. It's just a conversation. When you're living in LALA land, everything is by the flick of your finger, or by you speaking what you want, especially today. The dream, living a dream. Especially today, you live in, and everything is just by words or the flick of your finger. When you live in off the grid is different, guys. And this is why my channel is about using what you have. This is why my channel is about using what you have and make it work. So in case you encounter this type of situation, you can survive. You can make it. Living off the grid, you got to remember, it ain't no store for you to run to. It ain't no corner store close by. It ain't no supermarket close by. You basically living in an area where there's no electricity. There might even be water. You will have to figure out how you get in drinking water. You might be lucky that you could have a creek close by that you could get water from and you could drink from there, boil it and drink it. But you have to remember, when you're living in the dream, there's mosquito spray. There's mosquito spray you could go buy to keep mosquito from around you. When you're living off the land, off the grid, you don't have access to these type of things. You got to think and figure out, what can I do to get rid of these mosquitoes? One easy way is keep a fire burning with smoke. They cannot stand the smoke. So when the fire burn, the smoke gonna burn their eye, whatever, but they cannot stand the smoke. You got to figure out how to get rid of these mosquitoes. There's bugs. You're gonna encounter with bugs that you mightn't be acquainted with, maybe you never you see before. So these are things you have to get used to. When we're living in a dream, we have stuff that we could spray bugs. People spray bugs, which I will never recommend. I will never recommend spraying any bugs. I will never recommend these type of stuff, but people do it. So when you live in these ways, everything you have access to, you could run to the store and you could, living off the grid, you don't have access to these type of things. So this is where you get to be creative. This is where you start thinking. This is where you start realizing, wait, when you start to get used to it and understand. You see, looking into living off the grid might be very challenging for some people. By looking at it, some people might say, no, I cannot do that. I cannot live off the grid. Some people might tell you that plain talk, I can't. But if you have no choice, I guarantee you, you're going to figure out how to make it work. Living off the land or living off the grid, you might be able to, if you're a meat eater, if you're a person who loves to eat meat, you might got to hunt for these things. You wait on hunting season. Remember, you cannot hunt unless it's hunting season. Now, you got to figure out how to hunt, how to get food. In the dream, in LALA land, you could just say, you know what, I got my money, let me run to the supermarket. Let me run to the store. Living off the grid, you have no access to these things. So if you're a meat lover, you're going to have to learn to hunt. Growing food, you're going to have to learn to grow food. You're going to have to learn to... This is why now is the time for people to learn about different plants, learn about different herbs and their benefit, because you just never know. You just never know which time and season you could run into. So having these skills is very important. Now, say for instance, you might be walking or you might be using a machete and you get a cut. Remember, there's no hospital for you to run to. You got to figure out what to do to get this thing from start bleeding, if that's the case. Why herb is important? Because when you living off the grid, there's no hospital around. If you get sick, you got to figure out what type of herbs you could use to help heal you. So I just said the reason why I'm doing this video, because there's a lot of people talk about living off the grid, but I don't think they go into the depths of, that people could really understand what is living off the grid. You cannot go and turn your gas and light your stove. You have to go pick wood. If the wood is wet, how am I gonna get this fire to light? You got to figure that out, because you got to eat. Your family got to eat. You got to figure out the plants them that you could eat their leaf. You got to figure out the plants them that their barks is healthy, is loaded with benefit, that you could boil their barks and help heal your body. So there's a lot you need to know when you're talking about living off the grid. You got to worry about bugs. You got to worry about snakes. You got to worry about whatever wild animal might be inside the bushes. You have to be prepared. So just sitting down, oh yeah, I'm going and live off the grid, yeah. Well, you got to be prepared for a lot of things. Some people don't like bugs, land on them and all these type of stuff. These are things you're gonna have encounter with. So you have to be prepared and ready, and it's a mind thing. It's a mind thing. You gotta be prepared and ready, because you in the middle of the forest. Sometimes you might even not run in water. You got to figure out what to do when the rain comes, so you might be able to save some water. You might have to find yourself traveling to see if you find creek or a spring. So it's not simple, guys. It's not simple. So I don't want to come here there be more what? Okay, these type of people, okay guys, no distraction up in here. We keeping it real, okay? If you got to come up in here, let's keep it real and respectful, because I sure you not see me smoking. You got me? Please be respectful, all right? So guys, it's all about being prepared. All right? It's not a lifestyle you can just walk into and believe you can just do it. No. It's a mind thing. You got to be prepared and ready. It's a mind thing, living off the grid. Many people today is thinking about it. Many people, I'm here talking these days, they're thinking about, hey Kelly Lane, what's up? They're talking about living off the grid. They will like to do that. But this is something you have to be prepared for. It's a lifestyle. If you're accustomed to this type of lifestyle, it can be very challenging for a person who go in and do it for the first time. Like me, I'm basically living that life. You see, I'm growing my own food. I basically live in that life. So to me and other people who live in this life, it's going to become natural. It's going to become like, okay, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to start get trees and build my own house. You see what I'm saying? Get logs, bushes, and frame out my house and build my own house. You see what I'm saying? So you have to have a proper shelter. When I say a proper shelter, something that if it's rain, you're not gonna get wet. This is important because we know if it's rain and you get wet, especially when you sleep in, that could be very bad for you. You could get sick. You don't want that. So when we get cold in the dream world, in the LALA land, you could say, all right, let me run to the hospital, they might give you something. When you're living after grid, you have no access to these type of things. Like I was saying a minute ago, it's a mind thing. And you have to go to understand that you have to use what you have around you. It's a mind thing. And you got to understand, you got to make what you have around you work. So if you know you're going to need, you got to cook. You have to cook. You have to go and fetch wood and try to cover them. You have to go and look for wood, pack them up and try cover them from rain wetting them, because if rain wet them, it's going to be harder to catch. And if you're living off the grid, the truth is you should always have a fire burning, whether during the night, all day, during the night. There should always be a fire burning. So you can cook whenever you feel like. If you feel like come outside and warm up with the fire is right there. So the thing is, you have to remember too, when you're living off the grid, you cannot go, before you leave, you might walk, you might leave with, hold on. Yes. Before you leave, you might walk with lighter, you will walk with matches. But over a period of time, the lighter and the matches, you're gonna lose them. When I say lose them, they're gonna run out. How you gonna catch fire? If you don't have no matches, how you gonna catch fire? This is why it's important for you to always keep the fire burning. Create a cover that even the rain come is not gonna be wetting that fire. Because like I said, there's no stove for you to run to. You got to stay in that area and figure it out. Because there's no option for you to run and say, all right, I'm running to the store, I'll be back. That's not an option when you live in after grid. So this is basically a video to really break down a little in depth of the difference between living where we have all the access to whatever we need, and the difference between when you don't have that access. You got to figure out where you live in, how to survive, how you're gonna get light, how you're gonna keep the fire burning that you can cook, how you're gonna feed your family. You also got to learn how to hunt. If you like meat, you will have to wait till hunting season. And then the next thing again, when you hunt, there's no refrigerator. How are you gonna prepare your meat? How are you gonna preserve your meat? All these things you have to know, guys. So it's not impossible. It's not something you can't do. But I just want people to understand it could be challenging, especially the people who never live that type of life. It could be scary for people who never live them type of life. Because there's people who only knows about the bright light. They don't know nothing about being in the bushes, and the only light there is the light you have born in. Or the only light is when the moon shines, which is a beautiful sight when the moon shining. You seeing the moon, you seeing it bright because the area is dark. So when the moon shine, you see the moon shining down real bright. You praying for the moonshine that you could able to walk around better. Then depending on which area you live into, you still gotta worry about wild animal. So so this video is not to scare no one. This video is to give you a more understanding of what it is to live off the land. Off the grid is nothing compared to living in a home where there's bright light, supermarket, everything around you that you could run to. Is nothing compared. When you walk in, you still got to be careful when you walk, especially you go into, because you don't want to walk on nothing surprising. So yes, guys, living off the grid is something. Don't get me wrong, people doing this every day. There's people who living off the land, off the grid for years. It's a beautiful lifestyle. But you will have to get used to it. And you will have to get used to the condition. And you will have to get used to when rain comes and the place is damp. You will have to get to these understanding. Then if you're living in a place that have winter, then that's another situation again. You living in a place with winter, that's a whole nother situation. How you gonna keep yourself warm? You gotta figure that out too. So think about it, guys. And like I said, it's not impossible, because people live in that lifestyle today. It's not impossible. It can be done, but you have to be prepared and you got to think it out. Don't just rush out there unprepared unless you have to. If you have to, then you have to. But don't run out there unprepared and believe it's just a Bella Rose where you just walk out there and you just live off the grid. No, it's gonna take work, it's gonna take time, and it's gonna take effort. Alright? But guess what? Anyone can do it. It's just a mind thing. So what's up, guys? How you all doing today? Blessings to you guys. Thank you all so much. Appreciate each and everyone for coming out today. Thank you all so much. I hope this video can shed some light on living off the land and living off the grid and living in LALA land. I'm going to show you some things that you can, when living off the land, I can show you things you can do or living off the grid. I can give you an idea of things you can do to make it work, because it can be challenging for anyone who have no idea what is living off the land. Very challenging. You walk into these bushes, you don't want to just walk through these bushes because you don't know what's there. So you got to get something, and you see what I'm saying? You got to have something to clear. You see like that? You have something to clear to see what's going on here before you put your foot there, because you don't know what's in there. So like I said, guys, it's not an easy road, but guess what? You can do it. You can do it. You see, like for instance, guys, these are setup I have here. Well, the thing is, when living off the grid, you mightn't have access to these. But all these, I'm just showing you this because these are things give you idea how you could set up. But I'm gonna show, let me show you something. Now, you wanna cook a pot, all right? When you're living in LALA land, you could just go and you grab a stove and you just light the stove. You pay the bill, you have gas, and what you do, you light the stove. Now, when living off the grid, what you got to do now, you see this? I'm going to give you I'm just giving you an idea, okay? Just an idea I'm giving you. Right. You put 3 stones together, just like this. Let me show you 3 stones together. I'm just giving you a little idea, and what you do, let me show you how you pack the woods them. This is just an idea, guys. So what I'm trying to say, you will have to go and find stone. You mightn't be able to get access to the blocks. You might be able to get access to the bricks. So you got to take your mind off of this, right? Let me show you here. Now with these 3 stones, what you got to do now, you got to pack the wood between the 3 stones, like something like this. You see how that is there? You pack them just like that. Then you light the fire and you put the pot on top of the 3 stones. You see what I'm coming from, guys? So this ain't no life where you go in and grab a few, just turn on your gas stove. This is not that type of life. I'm sorry I ain't got a matches, or I want to show you guys what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? So when we dealing with the stone, like for instance, we dealing with the stone, we pushing wood from 3 angles. From 3 angles, you see? We light our fire. Then when we light our fire, hey, Kimberly, Jolene, how you doing? Yes, then when we put our pot right on top of the fire there. So what we doing? We keep packing wood and keep the fire burning. You see what I'm saying, guys? So these are things you have to know and understand. It's not no easy journey. So from time to time, what you got to be doing, you got to be going and you got to be taking wood from out the bushes and you pack them up. You pack them up like this and you try to cover them. The reason why you want to cover them, this is, thank you. The reason why you got to cover them is because you don't want rain to wet them. When rain wet them, they're very hard to catch. So you want to make sure you cover them. But this is something you will have to do on an everyday basis. You will have to go and search for these wood and pack them up because you're going to be burning fire every day. This will be something very good to have, but the thing is, if you live in off the grid, you would not have access to it. You see what I'm saying? So since you wouldn't have access to it, you will have to figure out something else. So now I'm giving you the tree stone, which this is the tree stone right here. Let me get another flat one for that. Hold on. All right. Yeah, so this is the tree stone, right? The tree stone, and we push in wood from 3 different angles. And then, you see that? That's your pot right there. So the fire burning on the tree stone, and that's where you cook. You use tree stone, and this is how you cook. Look at it. So you keep packing the wood between there, and this is how you cook. Survival. So it's not even about living off the grid. This is something you can do right in your backyard if you have access to the space. But so what I'm trying to say, guys, this is a big difference from living where you have access to everything. All right, it's not as easy as it may seem. It's not as easy as it may seem. But if you put your mind to it, nothing is impossible. Once you put your mind, nothing is impossible. You come in through here, you see all these, you got, you know, the truth is you will like to have a water boots. You will love to have a water boot, but if you don't, you just don't. But this is what I'm saying, guys. It's a beautiful lifestyle. It's a beautiful lifestyle, very enjoyable, especially there's no one bothering you. There's no one messing with you. That even better. You understand? You protect yourself however you can. If you're a person who loves to eat meat, then you will have to wait until hunting season, and then you can hunt. Then you also got to know how to preserve your meat. How are you going to preserve your meat? You will have to figure that out. You see what I'm saying? You will have to figure that out. A lot of people put the meat, they will smoke it out. You know, put it over the fire and smoke it. Like I said, you got to use whatever you have and make it work. But this is what this channel is about. Use what you have and make it work. So living off the grid, what can you eat as vegetarian? Well, the thing you could eat as vegetarian, I think if you living off the grid, you should definitely be able to grow your own food. So before you're choosing to go and live off the grid, what you need to do, you need to gather some seeds before you leave. Or if you're planning to, you should start gathering seeds. So when you gather seed, all these kind of food, this is eggplant, all these kind of food, you could grow this type of food. They're easy to grow. You could grow peppers, you can grow all different type of food. You can grow okra. You choose the food that you love and you walk with the seeds there. So you prepare, so you have a garden that you're growing. You go every morning. You go every morning and you pick wood for your fire. You make sure that your fire burn right through the night. So you have fire, you ain't got to get up in the morning trying to light fire. You already make that fire, and every day you put wood and keep it burning. For instance, you're in a zone where you're dealing with winter. No. If you're dealing with winter, you have to also have a way how you get in heat. You have to figure out there's a way how am I getting heat? How am I getting heat? Well, you might have to create. You might have to create that. You have to be creative in this type of lifestyle. You understand? Because ain't no one there to help you and help you figure out nothing. How am I gonna get heat? You go and you create an area with a cover that you could walk right onto your home, and within that area you can have an area that the smoke can go out, but the heat stays in. So that heat will push itself into where you at. Or you might got to go right close to that fire and get that heat. At the end of the day, you got to figure it out. So all these things is what I'm saying. Living off the grid is very challenging. Like I keep saying, it's a beautiful lifestyle. It's a beautiful lifestyle, but you have to make up your mind. So what I'm saying is, if you decide, okay, I'm going to live off the grid, don't just pick up and say, all right, I'm going to live off the grid. No, don't just pick up and do that. Figure it out first. Figure out things you're going to need. You're going to need matches. You're going to need a lighter. These are things you're going to need. Very important thing that you're going to need. Think about it. Let it sink in your mind because you have the time. You're thinking about it. Sometimes you have no choice. You have no option. You just got to get up and live that lifestyle. You just got to get up and live. But if you so you have no choice. But if you have the choice and you're thinking about it, you should definitely look in to things you need. So there's a lot of information out there about living off the grid, but I'm gonna say this again. Living off the grid, it's a blessing to able to live that type of lifestyle. It's a blessing. But it's also come with a lot of challenging. Yes. It also come with a lot of challenge, and you got to be prepared. You got to be prepared and ready for these challenges. I was saying earlier in the video, you have to make up your mind. Yes, sometimes you just got to get up and make move. And then when you get there, you got to try to figure it out without nothing. Well, that's different. But if you sit down and thinking about it, plan it out right and make sure you think it out. Because it's not a Bella Rose. It's not like living in the dream world. It's the natural world. That's the real. Living off the grid is the real. That other life, that's like living a dream. But off the grid is real. Everything is natural. You got to make it work. You got to make it work with whatever you have access to. You might see these trees and you might even have a machete to say, let me cut these trees to build a house. But guess what? I guarantee you're going to figure it out. You're going to walk and you're going to figure out which tree you can pull down and pop. And you're going to make it work. So don't believe you can't. It's a mind thing. But it's challenging. All right, let me see. Hey, Peter, how you doing? Peter said, I agree. Best lifestyle, been doing the same since. Oh, wow. All right, Peter from Australia. Well, at least, all right. So, like Peter now share, it's the best lifestyle. It's really a nice lifestyle. Able to make your life a self-sufficient lifestyle that you understand the things you have around you and you understand this is the thing, this is how I have to live. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. It's beautiful. But to a lot of people who don't understand, it could be challenging. But like I said, once you make up your mind and you say, you know what? You know what? I just gotta get used to it. And the more you get used to it, the more you're gonna understand the freedom that comes with it. The peace of mind that comes with it. Because now you're walking on your own time. You're walking on your own time and you're doing things on your time to make things work for you or your family or whoever with you. So it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing. But I don't want to tell you it's just about a ball in the park. No. It can be challenging from time to time. When the rain comes and the place gets muddy, your shoes never get muddy before, that may gross a lot of people. Have to grow your own food. Might gross the hands in the dirt, see the worms, see these type of things, might grow some people. Number one, the next thing again, there's no toilet for you to go to use, and then you flush. And there's a lot of people who never use a bathroom anywhere but with a toilet that you can flush. So could you imagine to someone who in the bushes, living in the bushes, and that will figure out how. But it's not hard because there's ways you can build these things. There's ways you can build these things. Where you can dig hole, you could dig out hole. Dig out hole. And then build, put something over it that you can do your thing. A lot of people might be discomfort doing that. So if you're thinking about it and you find yourself going to be discomfort, then you should also pack a 5-gallon bucket to take with. If you don't have the time to think about it, well, then you got to do what you got to do. But think it out. If you have the time Tara said, in the Caribbean, people live off the grid until all the 60s. Then La La Land arrived. Yep. You said it right. You said it right. The satisfaction in being responsible for every part of what you do. Oh, definitely. Oh, water and oh, yes, it's a form of, and this is the thing. It might be challenging, but it's the benefit that comes with it. The benefit that comes with it. Because now, just like how in La La Land you get up and you go to work with someone, you work for someone, and they pay you at the end of the week. If you only work 4 days, they pay you for 4 days. If you ain't work for the week, then you ain't get no pay. It's almost the same thing, but you doing it for you. And you doing it the way you want to do it. No one is over you, your head telling you, oh, I got to go out and pick some wood today. No, you know. Every day or every 2 days, you got to go out there and pick wood that you could get heat in the winter and you also could get food to cook. So then when you realize you growing your own food, you choose what you want to grow and you choose what you want to eat. So, like Peter said, you have some independence. And like I like how she put it. Tara said, La La La, come right. Yes, I mean, I say La La Land not to be disrespectful. The reason why I say La La Land is because everything is by the flick of your finger. You just go out there and you turn on your gas stove and you start, you sit on your toilet, you flush it, everything is just different. That life, it's a lifestyle that it's all become natural. It's all natural. It's all you using your instinct. It's all you thinking. It's all you being creative. And you have it inside you. That's the thing. You have it, everyone have it inside them. But over the years, like the sister said, from 1960, things change. So people no longer use them like how they used to. So now people custom to turning on a stove, flushing the toilet, all these type of stuff. So now it's a big difference now. So this is why I say the dream world, because the real world is you out here growing your food, figuring out how to live, figuring out how to keep, how you think the people used to keep themselves warm over the years gone by. They figure that out. So think about it. They figure out, how am I going to keep me and my family warm in the winter? So it's not impossible. It just makes you think. And you know what? It makes you realize a lot of things. It makes you understand nature a lot more. It makes you see nature, how nature operates more. Because you're basically dealing with the natural and not the artificial. You see, like now they tell you about artificial intelligence, which is, you see they tell you about that? That's what you call artificial. It's not real. This is the real thing that people used to be doing in times gone by. They grow their own food. They build their own shed or whatever. They create their own way of getting heat. This ain't no joke. Hey, time Konanda, what's up? Blessing. I came out of La Land. It was a cage. It was a fluffy chap. All right, all right, all right. The thing about this is, when you understand, when we say La La Land, and understand the natural, understand the real lifestyle, you really don't want to go back. It's the truth. Once you're able to make yourself comfortable living off the grid, once you're able to establish yourself, growing your food, learning to hunt, create a little shed for you to make sure that no rain wetting you. In the winter, able to create a heat that could warm you up over the winter. You don't want to turn back. You don't want to turn back. It's a lifestyle that there's people who live in this life every day, from the day they're born till they get old. This type of lifestyle. Self-sufficient, living off the grid, living off the land, using what you have and make it work because you have no access to nothing else. And the greatest thing about it, this is why in La La Land we spend so much money. Hey Faith, what are you doing? This is why, thank you guys for the likes, I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for the likes. Thank you guys, I appreciate you all. All right? This is why we spend so much unnecessary money. You see where I'm coming from? We spend so much unnecessary money when we're not living this type of lifestyle. When we live in this lifestyle, living off the grid, there's things you don't need for. They're no use to you. You understand? Because you cannot use them. You understand? You have no electricity, so you cannot use them. You have no battery, you cannot use them. So you no need for them. But on the other hand, anything come out. You have a TV showing beautiful, but a new TV come out, and you want that TV, and the one you have is working. A new one come out, oh, I want this one, so I'm gonna get rid of this one and get this. These things you don't study, they don't cross your mind. You see where I'm coming from? They don't ever cross your mind because you have no use for them. But here, you have a game. Your game is doing wonderful, but a new one come out. Let's get rid of this game. I need a new game. Living off the grid. You more on survival mode. You more thinking how to survive. You more thinking, all right, the wood them, I have to get up tomorrow and go and pick some wood because I have much wood left. This is how you take it. You take it about surviving. You're not thinking about spending money that you don't have to spend. And you don't really need money because you utilizing, you living off what you have around you. You growing enough food that you could store food for through the winter. If you're living in an area where deal with winter, you growing enough food to store through the winter. You going through the forest and grab the wood that you need and pack them up. This is your thinking, survival. But in LALA land, we take our last dollar and we go shopping. We take our last dollar and we go shopping. You see what I'm saying? Then we might we get a credit card, and not knocking anyone, this is just a conversation. We get a credit card and we just go and we max it out on stuff we didn't even need. You ain't studying a credit card living off the grid. You figuring out, all right, we still have 3 months in the year to grow. What am I gonna be growing? You see where I'm coming from? So your focus is on surviving and making it work. And at the same time, it ain't costing you a dime. But on the other hand, all we see is commercial and ways of how to push your hand in your pocket. You got it? So it's just different. Hey, Pure Grow, what's up? What's up? Blessings. Oh, you sowing some carrot, radish? All right. Wonderful. That's good because radish produce very fast. Yes, guys. So, all right. So yes, guys, it's beautiful lifestyle. It's a beautiful lifestyle. But you have to get your mind. You got to be in control of your mind to understand that I can do it, and I want to do it, and I will do it. You cannot go out there with doubts, telling yourself you're going out there in the jungle to live off the land or off the grid and tell yourself it's just a ball in the park. You got to deal with bugs. You got to deal with the wetness through the bushes. You got to deal with going and pick wood to make fire. Because a lot of things where people tell you could buy and walk with, they only going to last for time. So the truth is, it's best you focus on picking wood and these type of stuff that you could cook on. You got to be creative in this lifestyle. You can't depend on what I'm working with and what if you cannot work with nothing? What if you cannot work with nothing? What you gonna do? You got to live and you got to survive. Start. If that's your goal, hear me out. Peace to Peter. Onion and kale today for me. Okay, all right, wonderful. You guys planting? That's wonderful. I don't plant fall crop. The reason why, let me show you why I don't plant fall crop. There's no reason for me to, because we almost heading for the fall. Next month is the fall. And if you notice, my garden is still full of food in the fall. And this is why I just try to tell a lot of people, you got to figure out what to plant and Oh, Kimberly say, I love the way this lifestyle song. All right. Yes. Yes. It's a beautiful lifestyle because, like I said, you don't have to spend. It's a lifestyle where you don't spend money. You understand? You live in La La Land, you have to spend. It's an ongoing thing. But when you live in off the grid, you know how to utilize what you have. You know you cannot be overusing things. You know you have to use things accordingly. So at the end of the day, you're gonna make it work. One of the greatest thing, the most important thing, is creating a roof over your head that the rain cannot wet you. And then for the winter, you have something to want, something to create that you could warm up yourself. That's important. When we talk about food, you could do that yourself. You could grow that. When we talk about fire, you could go and fetch your own wood in the bushes. So the hardest thing is getting that roof over your head that when it rains, it's not gonna wet you. Yeah, so yes, you see why I don't need to do a garden, a spring, a fall garden. Is no need for me because I still have all these eggplant growing and producing. Still have pepper growing and producing. These Edo crops still growing and producing. So this is how I grow my garden. I grow my garden for feed me during the year. So when November hit, what we do in November, that's when we start working on our soil. We start fixing our soil. Oh, okay, all right, pepper here, okay. Yes, guys, I think living off the grid, it's a real good idea. I really do. It's a really good lifestyle. It's a good lifestyle. You just have to understand that it's not a lifestyle you could just lift up one day and decide I'm going to live off the land, off the grid. No. Sit down, plan it out, and see if it's gonna work for you. Make sure you get things that you might need. You gotta able all these type of things you're gonna have to learn to do. This is okra. You're gonna have to learn to eat them raw. And the thing is they're very delicious, that's the thing. Do you make water shelter near? Do you make shelter near water? Well, you have to create something that you could get water. Depending on where you at, you might not have water. There's places you might be lucky where there might be a creek around or there might be a rock where water coming out. That's a blessing right there. But sometimes you don't have access to that. That's why you got to create something so when it's rain, you will able to get as much water as you can collect. Because you got to bathe too. You see what I'm coming from? So it's a lot. And The thing is, in the forest, it rains more than if you, it rains, it rains more in the forest. So yes, you're in the forest, sometimes you get dew overnight. There's a lot of food you can eat raw. There's a lot of food that you can eat raw. These are things we have to do. So guys, living after land, living after grid, it's a beautiful lifestyle. But you cannot just run out there and say, I'm gonna do it unless you don't have no choice. Okay? You see, I know I break my pepper limb, but a lot of people, yes, like for instance, I know pop this down there. If it was in the spring, I would have put this in the earth. If it's springtime, like how this pop, you could just stick it in the earth and it's gonna gather root. But it's too late now. So I wouldn't do it now. But these are things you must try to do as well. Yeah, man, so wow. So what's up guys? If you haven't hit the like button guys, please hit the like button. I truly appreciate it. Let me see. For good and bad, depend on how you look at it. You are responsible for your own. Definitely. That's right, Peter. That's right. You said it right there. That's right. You responsible. You the one responsible. And I'm telling you, able to be responsible because now you have to understand. You have to understand, living after grid. There's no one for you to turn to. If you have a certain amount of food, if you grow a certain amount of food, you have to make that last. You have to make that last. If you gather water, you have to use the water a certain way that it can last. So you have to be responsible. You have to be responsible for yourself or for your family, however. In times you might be able to use a full bucket to bathe your skin in them type of lifestyle. You might have, there's time you might have to use a half bucket. Or there's time you might have to go through the day and through the night without take a bath. Because if you don't have no, so it's challenging. That's why you have to set up yourself in ways that when rain come, you could get water. But what if raining come for months and there's no creek around? You got to figure out how, or maybe you might have to do some walking. You might walk and get lucky and find a spot where water coming out of a rock or a creek. You might get lucky. That happens sometimes. But like I said, it could be challenging, but you're responsible for everything. For your own survival, as Peter said. Thank you, Peter. Thank you. You're responsible for it all. You cannot blame nobody. You cannot run to no one for anything. You responsible for your own survival. And to some people that might be real challenging, because to some people we're so comfortable with the artificial lifestyle that when we got to really do the real lifestyle, it's too hard for us. But this is how people used to live way back in time. Live after grid, live after land. I grew up where my parents, they used to live after land. They grow their food. They didn't buy food. They grow their food. But the difference is growing up and see that. And growing up and never see it, it's a big difference. It's a big difference. But guys, thank you guys for coming out again. The battery gonna dead, so I don't wanna the live goes off without, just goes off blank on you guys. So I'm gonna end the live, but this topic, it's a really good topic. And I'm gonna come back. Let me see, hold on. Proof is the truth, definitely. That is the beauty of it all, definitely. I like what you're doing. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate you guys. Yes, so I don't wanna the video to end without. But if you guys new to this channel, please subscribe to the channel, because we do a lot of live direct from the garden. We show a lot of things. So please subscribe and hit the notification bell that every time we go live, you will be notified. We go live almost every day. All right, we go live almost every day. Peace and blessing to you, Progo. Peter, have fun. All right, Peter. Thank you for joining us, Peter. Appreciate it. Yes, thank you for joining us, Kimberly. Kimberly was here with us for a while. Thank you. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope this video can touch someone today and educate people about living after the grid, because it can be easy and challenging. But if you get used to it, you might just love it. All right? So if you haven't hit the like button, guys, please hit the like button. And you can always check out my videos. There's a lot of videos for you to learn from. Thank you all. Peace, love, and blessing to each and every one. Thank you.